Arsenal can still win the Premier League title if they beat Bayern Munich on Wednesday night in Germany. Let me break this down. Let me explain to you my thoughts on the Premier League title race. If you're enjoying this content, please do go down and hit that subscribe button. We are very close to 4K subs. And also drop a like down below. Now, obviously, Arsenal had a horrendous performance in the second half against Aston Villa. Unai Emery tactically got it spot on, and Arsenal for the first half played some good stuff. I thought Odegaard played well. Second half, though, it was night and day between a manager that is striving for greatness and a manager that has been there, seen it, done it, and wore the t-shirt, and Unai Emery. Now, when you look at Arsenal's remaining 6 Premier League fixtures, we look at a very, very difficult run. However, taking my Spurs hat off, taking my biased hat off, when you look at these fixtures, when you look at Wolves, Chelsea, Tottenham, Bournemouth, Man United, and Everton, the remaining 6 Premier League fixtures, for me, it all comes down if they beat Bayern Munich. This team we've seen before, they are a confidence team. Arsenal are where they are in the league for a reason. They are one of the best teams in the league for a reason. And if not Europe, they've dismantled this entire Premier League. They've beaten practically every team other than Aston Villa. Now, when we look at Liverpool, we look at Manchester City, I'm going to quite happily put my hands up and say I think Liverpool are out of the title race. They are wasting chance after chance after chance. Darwin Núñez is stinking it out. Salah is doing his usual self and not delivering in a title race. We've seen this before from Salah, and we definitely will see it again. In my opinion, he's on the decline. And Liverpool have got Tottenham at home, Everton away at Merseyside derby, Fulham away, West Ham away, Villa away, and Wolves. And they've got 4 away games, apologies, on the bounce. Their title race is finito. They are out. Manchester City, I believe they are going to lose 1 game for the remainder of the season in the Premier League, and that is my team, Tottenham. I think a Tottenham away game for Manchester City is their worst nightmare. Now, don't get me wrong, Manchester City beat us in the FA Cup, but Tottenham now have to win majority of our games to get top 4. We're now 3 points behind Aston Villa. No one thought they'd go there and get 3 points at the Emirates, although Unai Emery this season has got a very good record in Europe, but no one thought they would do it. I don't care what anyone says. Everyone thought with Liverpool dropping points, with Manchester City winning, everyone thought Arsenal would go out there and win. If Arsenal win every single game for the remainder of the season, which I pray to God they don't because they're still playing us, but if they do win every game for the remainder of the season and Tottenham beat Manchester City, Arsenal will be champions. Liverpool are out of the race. I think they're going to be 4 or 5 points away from the other 2. Arsenal, if they beat Bayern Munich, that gives them the confidence to go through every single game. The confidence. Now, Arsenal in the Premier League and Arsenal in the Champions League is 2 completely different teams. You could see they're nervous. You could see the occasion may have got to these players. But Arsenal in the Premier League are a different animal. And if they can somehow, some way, go to the Allianz Arena with a Bayern Munich that all they've got to play for now is the Champions League, as Xabi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen were crowned champions at the weekend, Arsenal have got to give it every single thing they've got. You know, go back to what they know, plan it out from the back. Gabriel and Saliba as strong as ever. In my opinion, Martin Odegaard has got to play every minute between now and the remainder of the season. When they took Martin Odegaard off yesterday in the defeat against Aston Villa, they didn't look as fluid up going forward. You know, his work rate is phenomenal in terms of getting back. His passes in the final third. He can open up any defense in Europe, and they need Bukayo Saka to step up now. You know, I'm seeing a lot of hate on Bukayo Saka on the timelines, and don't get me wrong, banter and all that is great, but now he has to deliver. Bukayo Saka has got to step up for Arsenal, as well as Martinelli. Forget Jesus, in my opinion, not good enough. Saka, Martinelli, and Havertz, in my opinion, should be the front three, or Saka, Martinelli, Trossard. But if they beat Bayern Munich, I'm telling you guys, this Premier League title race is not over. If they lose to Bayern Munich, then it's Manchester City's league. It's as simple as that. They're the best team in the league when it comes to the running for the title, the business end of the season, the big games in March and April. They are the best team around. Manchester City, out of the three teams, probably have the easiest running. They've got Brighton away, Forest away, Wolves at home, Fulham away. Fulham away is not going to be easy, and the likelihood is they will be through to the next round of the Champions League. So the next round of the Champions League is probably going to be somewhere in between the Brighton game and the Wolves game. Is it potentially going to be a fixture pile-up for Manchester City? Who knows? We've seen them do that. We've seen them been there, do it, wore the T-shirt. They've won the treble last year. But if Arsenal's season is hanging in the hopes of one game, it is Bayern Munich Wednesday night. If they go out and beat Bayern, if they beat Bayern Munich, then that gives them a massive lift. Because right now, as fantastic as it is, from a Spurs perspective, looking at all their Arsenal fans down in the dumps and trying to, as I said, trying to take my Spurs hat off here and think logically about this. If Arsenal do go and get a result at Bayern Munich, it sends a message back to Manchester City and Liverpool that just because they've had a defeat, it doesn't mean anything. And it's the same with Liverpool. If Liverpool can claw it back against Atalanta, which will be one of the best comebacks we've ever seen, 3-0 down is one thing, but 3-0 down in Italy is when you know they're going to stink it out, you know they're going to park the bus, you know they're going to play for absolutely everything. If Liverpool do that, that also gives them the confidence. So these European games are massive. Plus, Manchester City is still in the FA Cup. If they beat Chelsea, they've again got to play Man United. It's more games on the legs. I know Man City have got the experience and they've got probably the best squad in Europe right now. But everything in terms of Arsenal and Liverpool runs on these European nights. You know, can Liverpool win 4 away games on the trot is a massive ask. When you talk about big game players, when you talk about title winning moments, these next couple of games for Arsenal and Liverpool are absolutely everything. I'm going to say it right now. If Arsenal play like they have in the Premier League, they'll go to Bayern and win. But it's if they're going to play like they are in the Premier League. When you look at the running, you know, Paul Merson said it yesterday. The one team you don't want to be behind in the Premier League running for the title is Manchester City. And Man United, Man City have got the easiest games. And Arsenal have probably got to do it. I don't want to say the hard way because everyone has to play the same amount of teams. But they're running for the remainder of the season. They've still got to play 3 of the big 6 clubs. You know, they've got a relatively good record at home against Chelsea. Man United, I think they've won twice in the last 12 years. And I think they've won twice in the last 11 years at White Hart Lane. So they're going to have to do it the hard way. But it all rides on this Bayern Munich game. For both clubs. Bayern Munich season's practically over now. You know, they're not going to win that. Well, they're never going to win the league. It's already been won. But if Bayern Munich can rally the troops and beat Arsenal, that's all they've got to play for. If Arsenal lose, you know, that's going to be a massive, massive mental block for these players, knowing that you couldn't beat Bayern at home. You couldn't beat Villa at home. If you now go out to the Champions League to Bayern, you know, to a finished Bayern, it's probably one of the biggest games Arteta has managed in his career. So much riding on it. Your first campaign managing as a Champions League manager, you know, your second season in a title race. Everyone's telling you bottled it. The world want you to be a laughing stock. Now, Arteta, for his Arsenal legacy, has to deliver I was about to say 3 points. He has to deliver a dub. He has to deliver a win. He's got to get everything tactically spot on. We know how strong Bayern Munich were tactically in the first game. You know, with Lerma and Goretzka sitting in front, they got it absolutely bang on the money. Bang on the money. They were brilliant, Bayern Munich. Now, Arsenal have got to go to their place. Well, we know Arsenal have got a horrendous record at the Allianz Arena. I don't think they've ever won there. If you're going to do it, you've got to do it in horrendous circumstances. In the quarterfinals of a Champions League, and Arteta now has got to rally the troops and they have got to deliver. If they don't, it opens the door wide up for Manchester City. One thing I will say is, though, if Manchester City and Arsenal both win, and Liverpool go out the Europa League, and all Liverpool have got to think about is the remaining Premier League games. I know they've got 4 away games, but it will be ride or die for Jurgen Klopp. And when you look at it, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to pull back a 3-0 lead. Fulham away on Sunday is not going to be easy. You know, Fulham are on good form. They've just beaten West Ham. They're putting a really good performance against Newcastle. You know, they beat my team 3-0 last month, and they've beaten Man United away. They're putting a good performance against Villa at home. Villa are a tough side, but if Liverpool want to be champions, they have to go and do it. And then they've got to follow it up 3 days later with another game against Everton. So these next few days for Jurgen Klopp and Mikel Arteta, absolutely everything. We've got 6 games left in this title race. You've got 2 points between Manchester City, Arsenal, and Liverpool. Man City right now, playing the best football, winning games, 1-3 on the bounce, scoring 4 against Villa, scoring 4 against Palace, scoring 5 against Luton, 3 against Madrid. They've got goals everywhere. But if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And that is what Arsenal have got to do. They've got to go and beat Bayern Munich and then win 6 games on the bounce. 7 finals they've got now, starting with Germany. If they don't, the meltdown is going to be catastrophic over social media. It is going to be absolutely insane, the meltdown. Let me know your thoughts down below if you haven't already. It's going to be a very interesting couple of days. Can Arsenal beat Bayern? Can Liverpool beat Atalanta? Let me know your thoughts down below if you haven't already. And I will see you all in the next one. Thank you all for watching. I am out.